What's going on, everybody out there? Welcome to the IGN All-Star Community Podcast. This is episode 8 of the podcast here. I'm one of your hosts, the epic Jake James Lugo, and with me I have my compatriot, Mr. Peter Lopez. My man, how have you been?
Hey, I'm been good. How's everything going with you guys?
I'm doing all right, bro. I'm doing okay. And then today is a special episode. You want to know why?
Why?
You want to know why? Because we got a special that pause there. He was like, huh? We got a special guest with us today. Is my friend, the Hectic HMK from YouTube. HMK, my dude, how have you been, man?
I've been great, man. I've been great. Yo, thank you for having me aboard. It's good to be here, and let's get down into it.
Welcome.
Oh, of course, man. It's going to be fun. Yo, and today is actually, it's recently special for you because you just hit 30,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel.
Yes, I did, man. It's been a long time coming. Thank you very much.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Thanks.
So, put in that work over there. So,
yeah.
Let's get started on some stuff, okay? What's hot on IGN right now, okay? So, EVO 2015, the announcement of the actual games that are going to be featured at this year's EVO, okay? Here's the lineup of the actual series of games we got, okay? Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. We have Super Smash Bros. Melee, okay, for the GameCube. We have Tekken 7, all right? We have also Guilty Gear Zerd. We have Ultra Street Fighter 4, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Mortal Kombat X, Killer Instinct, and Tekken 7, and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Now, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this because some of these games obviously are not out yet. So it's to me, it's a little bit weird and interesting. So what do you guys think of this lineup?
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this lineup looks really, really good. You know, once again, like you said, it's weird that they have games that are not released. But I mean, EVO always does that, you know, because it's like the premier fighting tournament. But I'm most excited for Melee and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U because, man, like, Brawl didn't get that much love in the tournament scene. And, well, not as much as Melee anyways. And it's good to see that Super Smash Bros. And Nintendo's coming back into the tournament scene full force. You know, a lot of people's been wanting it. Melee's been at EVO last year. It's been great. I just want to see how they're going to handle it for Wii U because we've yet to see, like, a true big Wii U tournament. Because everyone's all like, oh, yeah, the E3 tournament. But, you know, other than, you know, VG Boot Camp, I really want to see what Super Smash Bros. Wii U can do at EVO.
Definitely. I mean, Pete, so your thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just like Jo here. I'm super pumped for Super Smash Wii U and Melee, and I mean, the two video games are completely different from each other, right? Like, Melee is super fast. Smash Wii U, it's fast, but it's not as fast, and I know you can't wave dash in that video game, and I know a lot of the professional players like Mewtwo King really like to do that kind of thing, so I'm really interested to see how this plays out. But I'm more interested in Ultra Street Fighter 4. That's my jam. I love playing that video game. I basically grew up playing the Street Fighter video games.
Yeah,
and I like to try and follow the community as best as I can. And usually when EVO comes around is when I take a break off of work and just relax and watch that, like, for however long. I think it's like 3 days or something, but yeah, I'm super pumped, dude. I'm super ready for it. I love EVO. I wish I can be there in Vegas because I know that's where it's going to be at this year, I believe. And yeah, I mean, I think the lineup's pretty solid. I like the fact that new Mortal Kombat and Tekken are going to be shown.
Here's the thing about that, though, Pete, and this is, I love the lineup. The lineup's cool. It's going to really get a rise out of everybody in the competitive communities and such. But some of these games aren't out yet, and it's a little bit weird. And I think it could be a little bit weird for a lot of players going in, that are on the fly trying to learn these games. Hopefully by that time frame, hopefully some of them come out. But like Mortal Kombat X isn't on the market yet. Tekken 7 obviously isn't on the market yet. And granted, those are big fighting franchises and such like that, but a lot of these stuff, especially Mortal Kombat X, is going to have a lot of different stuff going on with those particular types of games. Like, there's going to be new mechanics, obviously, that people maybe haven't spent a lot of time with, unless you've gone to, like, a major event like E3 or even PAX that's coming up very soon, or PAX South that's going on right now, to actually play around with them and actually learn the nuances of the games. So that's a little bit weird to me, but, like, things like Melee, things like Smash Bros. Wii U is going to be exciting. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, I think that's a really underrated fighting game. Doesn't get as much shine as I believe it should. And then obviously you've got stuff like Guilty Gear Zerd, brand new, your staples, Street Fighter games, Marvel vs. Capcom. It's going to be an interesting EVO.
Yeah,
it's going to be a very, very interesting EVO.
Do you think like they should have done it differently then? Because I feel like EVO's it may be turning into something like a little different in regards to having a tournament for unreleased video games. Do you think maybe they should have had just like a couple of, demo kiosks and just kind of having the game shifted in that direction rather than throwing an actual tournament segment for that video game? Because I feel now like, they're doing the tournament thing, which is cool, but maybe they should have just do a trailer or, that kind of thing. I mean, what do you think? Should it even be a part of EVO, or should it just
part of the circuit?
Yeah, or should it just be like a trailer and just kind of one of those events where you hold you have a trailer just for EVO kind of thing?
Well, from my perspective, like if it was like a brand new fighting game, then of course, like have it a preview. But this Tekken 7 and Mortal Kombat 10 we're talking about, these are like, sequels to established fighting game franchises that people has played at tournaments before and people has had experience in the past titles. So I mean, I guess it's kind of like more of a testing ground. Mm-hmm. The tournament is more of like a testing ground. It's like, oh man, let's see what the pros can really do with this game. They played Mortal Kombat 9. They've played Tekken 6. Let's see what they can do with this new titles. And of course, if anyone could find out like really bad bugs or attempt to break the game,
it's gonna be those guys.
It's gonna be these guys.
That's a good point. I mean, it's very true because again, a game like Tekken, outside of like Tekken Tag, obviously, and those parts of that series, most of the stuff hasn't really changed that much in the entirety of the Tekken series. Other than maybe a little bit of like the extra 3-way running or 8-way running, it's called, here and there. But essentially, the core concepts and the core mechanics of those games are essentially the same. Same thing, obviously, for Mortal Kombat. I just think that Mortal Kombat is going to be a lot more different. It's going to be more in line with Injustice and have things like an amalgamation of both Mortal Kombat and Injustice here and there. That's why it's a little bit weird for me. But I could totally understand your point about Tekken. Which is very, 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 very true. But let's move on from there. Pete, give us a little bit of a rundown on this news about the Elder Scrolls Online coming to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Right. So this week, IGN reported that Elder Scrolls Online, Xbox Live. So many problems. No, I'm just kidding. Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited is going to be coming to Xbox One and PS4 on June 9th, which is basically going to be a rebuilt video game from the previous Elder Scrolls Online, which is currently on PC. It's going to be pretty cool because this time around they're going to scrap the subscription fee. I'm not too sure what it currently is for PC players, but I know a lot of MMO players don't really like the subscription fee. I know I don't like it. They will implement some sort of in-game transaction, I believe, in order to receive additional content. I don't know if it's like a season pass, but I think they're going to stray away from the word subscription fee and transition it into the season pass, so to speak, kind of thing, whatever. But yeah, PC players are definitely going to get a free upgrade because they're the ones who are enduring all of the bad bugs and all the stuff that it's experiencing.
The broken game.
The broken game, right. And that's something to definitely look forward to. I know I'm definitely going to dive into it. I'm going to have to pay the $60 to buy the game, but I really liked Skyrim. That was my game of the year in 2011. I sunk in over 100 hours in that video game. It was really exciting and really great to play. So I'm definitely interested in this new Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I don't know, Gia, have you ever played the Elder Scrolls Online?
No, but I gotta say I've heard some really, really bad things.
Me too. I've heard some bad stuff. I know one of the websites that I actually freelance for, one of the guys who's like the go-to guy for like MMORPGs came back and said like, this is garbage. Like, this is horrible. Like, because he test played it and then he actually did a preview of it and then he did the review of it and he was like, yo, this is just horrible. Because couple things. A lot of the mechanics and the nuances that worked in Skyrim as a game like that worked well in that game did not translate very well into the Elder Scrolls Online, or at least into the MMO aspect of game design. But also, I think also a big thing is the subscription-based service. I think that's a big problem. Games like World of Warcraft have had a long time to really kind of hone that, and they've kind of even adopted a little bits and pieces to the free-to-play model for that particular type of game. And there are successes with games like Final Fantasy XIV or Realm Reborn and such, but I really think that paid for every single month subscription service for MMOs is really kind of going away. I think like a lot of gamers are kind of moving past that and they're looking at other things to get the most out of their value, and just paying like so much money every single month for an experience, especially when when it's in the state of like how the Elder Scrolls Online is, where it's not ideal and it's not really complete or as of higher quality like something like World of Warcraft. You're not going to find a lot of people diving into that.
I feel like, like you said, how the people are, dropping out of the MMORPG genre. I think all those people who are in the MMORPGs are like, jumping over to MOBAs, like, League of Legends and stuff, because the way they handle transactions and money, it's great, and it makes you want to spend, because the whole thing with MMOs is like, yeah, you want to go on a quest, you want to go on a certain
it's the
place.
Community aspect.
Yeah, you have to do this, you have to buy that, you have to pay a monthly subscription. When you play a MOBA like League of Legends, it's completely free to play, and you have in-game currency that you earn by playing to purchase other things. But if you really want to bypass all that, you could pay if you like, and there are certain things like skins that you can only get by paying actual money, which is cool because it's all optional. It's not required, unlike MMOs. On the hand for Elder Scrolls, the thing is, I've heard a lot of things about Elder Scrolls. Not only that it was buggy, that's one thing that's bad about it. Another thing that's bad about it is that, like you said, it doesn't know what it wants to be. It tries
Identity Crisis.
Yeah, it tries to be Skyrim and an MMO7, which doesn't work. And then when it tries to do MMO things, it just screws it up. It's like, oh yeah, let's all go on a quest together. And then like it's the experience split. The restarting of quests, and I've heard like you can only get around places like by walking. There's no speed jumps or anything like that, and that's stupid. Like, what's the Elder Scrolls? I could be wrong, but
you mean like quick travel? And
yeah, like quick jumps.
I know on the PC version, I think of like Skyrim is like you get mounts.
Oh yeah, in Skyrim, yeah, but I'm like the Elder Scrolls Online. Is there no?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think you had to actually walk. I'm not sure though because I haven't had a lot of time in the game with it. But I wouldn't be surprised, like, because if that was really the case, there probably wouldn't be as many complaints about that game coming out, stuff like that, because it's just had a bad rap. I remember when that game was first announced, and like there was a big deal about it at PAX East.
Yep.
And there was like a huge line of people trying to play that game. And then I look at it now, I was like, wow, like that completely just got diffused.
Nobody wants a piece of that action.
But speaking of RPGs, not RPGs. No, we're going to get into some RPG stuff later because I want to build up the momentum here. Let's talk about this new Pokken trailer. Now,
oh yeah,
I got a bone to pick with Nintendo here because I want this game on the Wii U. We all want this game on the Wii U. Gee, you want this game on the Wii U.
Of course, man.
I mean, Peter, you want this game on the Wii U.
I think it's eventually coming to Wii U.
A keyword eventually, if at all, okay? Because this
exactly,
is Nintendo.
If at all.
I mean, here's the thing. During that last Nintendo Direct, I even said this on the podcast before. When I saw Harada come out, I was like, okay, time to get me some Pokken. It's about to go down. And then when I saw Project Treasure, I'm like, huh? This is like just stopped dead in my tracks. I'm like, why isn't Nintendo already talking about bringing this game to the Wii U? Because people want this. People legit want this because people love Pokemon. People want more games on their Wii U to play. This seems ideal for the online environment that Nintendo's trying to establish for the Wii U, for Nintendo Wi-Fi, or Nintendo Network, I should say. This should be a match made in heaven. This should be the peanut butter on the bread. But unfortunately, no talk of porting to the Wii U. We're only getting arcade talk. Hopefully by E3 we hear something about this game coming out to the Wii U. But there was a new trailer released for it and a weird freaking controller. So, Gio, tell me what the hell am I looking at?
Alright, so this looks like a PlayStation Reject controller. Alright.
PlayStation Reject.
So yeah, it's really bad. It only has 4 buttons, A, B, Y, and X, and D-pad on it. And if you could look really closely, it does have the Nintendo logo at the top. But I'm guessing this is the controller that's going to be attached to the arcade machines in Japan, the arcade cabinets. I mean, they're not going to have a traditional fight stick, which is weird. But I mean, Nintendo likes to do things their own way, so I mean that's fine. But when it comes to the controller, it looks weird. But when it comes to the game, like everything JJ said is true. Why are they not talking about this game? But everyone's like, oh yeah, it'll eventually come to the Wii U. I'm not so sure because Nintendo has been known to have arcade.
They're very quiet.
Yeah, arcade exclusive machines.
Mario Kart?
Mario Kart, that Mario Kart game, or Mario Kart GP, F-Zero AX is exclusive to
Japanese arcades.
Japanese arcades. Even though this one guy very recently was able to hack GX and find out that AX is actually on the disc and playable too. And it's just all this stuff. And Nintendo does do that. Like very recently, they made a Japanese exclusive Luigi's Mansion 3DS, a Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon cabinet that has extra features aside from the 3DS version. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Why not give it to us as DLC?
As DLC, right?
Come on, man. Seriously.
So Nintendo has been known to pull these moves, and like JJ said, and like everyone else in the world thinks, Pokemon prints money, and Pokemon. A fighting Pokemon game, a lot of people have been wanting it. A lot of people have been making that shit online as their own, flash fighters and stuff. Now that we actually have it in sight, why are you not, giving it to us? I mean, like at E3, like you said, they can totally say, hey, it's also coming to Wii U at the same time it's coming out to, Japanese arcade machines, but, all this information is so, sketchy. Because everything we've gotten about Pokken has been through Japanese outlets. All the information from Pokken has been from Japan. Nothing has been said in American directs. Nothing has been said through American outlets or any of that. So this whole situation is mad sketchy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, here's the thing, though, is just that, and I look at the same way as I do with Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem usually has gone through the same thing, and I think also Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem had something similar until they had finally announced that it was coming to the Wii U, which we still haven't heard about, by the way, but I digress. With this game, though, I mean, it's gauging a lot of excitement here in the West. Like, because in the new announcement trailer that you guys showed me, they have Pikachu as a playable character. They have Suicune. A lot of other different Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be more revealed as we go along throughout the rest of the year. People obviously want this game, so I'm surprised that Nintendo really hasn't taken notice of that. But Peter, what do you think of this?
Okay, ready? Let me...
this is going to be good. He's clearing his throat. This is going to be real good.
Just for a little context, for people who might not know, Pokken Tournament is basically Nintendo's new Pokemon fighting video game, which in my opinion is like a crossbreed between Marvel vs. Capcom 3 with Tekken. But I mean, I feel like Nintendo is kind of just focusing on the arcade cabinet of Pokken Tournament right now, just because they already have Smash. Smash just came out recently, and that's kind of where a lot of buzz is. So imagine if Nintendo released Mario Galaxy and The Legend of Zelda on Wii U the same day. It's kind of like two big video games. It's a business kind of thing, so you want to stretch out the popularity of an IP first before you introduce a new one to the system. So I feel like they definitely need to give it time. I'm thinking maybe an announcement that it's coming to Wii U at E3 would be appropriate. I feel like announcing it right now while they're still kind of testing out Pokken Tournament on arcade, I feel like that would be too much. And I don't think anyone would love to play the video game with that controller because it's just horrendous.
It looks like the boomerang controller from the PlayStation 4
Batarang or something. So I mean the Batarang it looks a lot cooler than this controller, but it just still, to play a video game on there just looks bad. So
looks wide.
It looks wide. I mean, I don't know. I think the idea of Pokken Tournament is pretty cool. Like I said, I'm a big fighting game fan. I would just prefer to play this video game on an arcade cabinet, to be honest, because going back to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Street Fighter 4, Tekken, those kind of things, those video games are best played with an arcade stick, right? Like I have a Mad Cat stick with Sanwa parts, and that's what I get down on. I'm not going to play Street Fighter 4 with my Xbox controller. Like that's just not going to happen.
Agreed.
So I mean, I feel right now they're really putting all the focus on the arcade because that's where I feel it would be more popular because of that, and they might be pushing the arcade more because they're not going to have a fight stick for Wii U. I mean, honestly, guys, do you think you can get down on this video game with that controller, or even like a GameCube controller or a gamepad?
On the Pro controller, for the Wii U, I could get down.
Yeah, but even that though is kind of just like the Xbox controller, which is even tougher to do, right? Even with the little D-pad, like it's still not that professional experience with.
Honestly, I feel that the Pro controller of the Wii U is a little bit much more comfortable and a little bit more solid in terms of playing like a fighting game or traditional fighting game compared to the Xbox 360 controller, which it really obviously came down to that D-pad, but it was obviously more because of the grooves of that D-pad. So I think that this could still obviously work, and I still think that if Nintendo was to announce this for the Wii U, they could still kind of get behind an actual peripheral, because we all know that Nintendo loves the peripherals, especially when they're just flash in the pan, getting behind them and then just never discussing them ever again or supporting them ever again. Case in point, the GameCube controller for the Wii U now, or at least the Smash Brothers limited edition GameCube controller. But hopefully, I could definitely see this being an accent to like their big, was it E3 reveals? Like this could be like a good bookend to Star Fox Wii U reveal, Zelda Wii U reveal, or any other surprises they got coming in the pipeline. That'd actually be pretty cool.
It'll be a small announcement, I think, during the Nintendo presentation at E3. But I mean, going back to what you were saying in regards to peripherals and accessories, like if Nintendo doesn't come out and say, okay, here's the official Nintendo Fight Stick, you already know, like Mad Catz will do it, like third party, will definitely jump on that opportunity, and that's where you're going to see the dollar signs. Yeah, or Hori.
Because I know Hori's done some of their previous peripherals that were fighting game related for Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
I think that was a Mad Catz sick, but yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Was it? I thought it was a Hori, honestly. But either way, like I could definitely, hopefully, hope that this happens because we want it.
Yeah,
we want this game.
I think it looks badass. I'm gonna play it, and I feel it's gonna. I feel that's a video game that should come to E3 because of the competitive fighting mechanics and combo systems and stuff like that.
If Nintendo could get 3 games into EVO, that'd be sweet. I mean, look at 2 Smash Brothers games and this. There you go. And then give me Blastoise, and then
I'm not sure this is gonna make the EVO this year. Maybe EVO next year, but not EVO this year.
No, obviously not.
I want to see like a Fire Emblem like competitive fighting video game, right? Like the new Fire Emblem video game that was just announced at E3. Like I want to see 2 screens of just Fire Emblem like chaos.
Oh yeah,
like dude, that'd be awesome, right? I feel Nintendo definitely needs to open up the portfolio and kind of expand on that idea. Totally.
Of course, yeah.
They need to.
Oh, definitely. So, moving on from there, because that was some awesome news. Tell me a little bit more about this Xbox One to stream Windows 10 to PC and vice versa.
Right. So, also this week, Phil Spencer did a live presentation during the Windows 10 event, and basically, in a nutshell, the Xbox One will be compatible to stream video, or it'll be able to stream video games to PC, right? So we were talking before the podcast just to kind of touch on the subject, and just to kind of think of it, it's basically like a Wii U gamepad, or it's like the PS Vita, right? So if your Xbox One is downstairs, and like for example, this is definitely going to work for me, right? My wife is downstairs watching God knows what on TV. I want a game. I'm going to take my laptop upstairs with my Xbox One controller, and then I'll be able to play like Halo 5 or whatever the new thing is, right? So that's basically what's coming. Unfortunately, I don't have a release date, like when this whole thing's going to come together, but just the idea of being able to stream my Xbox One video games to my PC, that's awesome. I've been waiting for this for the longest time. Like I said, Nintendo's got the ball rolling on that with the gamepad. PlayStation has PS Vita with the cross TV play with
and PS Vita TV to another PlayStation console.
Exactly. So I mean, everybody's jumping on this idea, and I think it's about time that Microsoft is doing the same thing. And I'm for sure, I'm definitely going to cash in on it. Like this is for me,
Yeah, that sounds cool. Sounds interesting. Gio, is this sound intriguing to you at all?
Bruh, I'm just like here in the room looking at a fly while you're talking about Xbox. I'm like, no, I don't want to get into this.
He's in there going, Nintendo did it, PlayStation did it, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. But let's move on to something real good that we all like here, especially you, Gio.
Oh, yeah.
You actually brought this up recently in one of your videos. You were talking about Kingdom Hearts 3. Now we got everybody, all the listeners on the edge of their seats like, oh, what are they going to talk about?
Right.
But so one of the things that came up recently was that there's been a bunch of different development positions that have been hired over at Square Enix for the development of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, Gio, you obviously got the skinny on this, so tell us a little bit about what's been going on with this.
All right, so very, very recently, Osaka's third business division, Osaka Japan for Kingdom Hearts 3, they've listed a couple of job opportunities for development of the game. Now, among these include game planner, level planner, 3D, 2D art designer, character model designers, and all that stuff. And reminder, the Osaka team are the people who developed Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, 1.5, 2.5, and they helped with Re-Chain of Memories. These are the guys who are developing Kingdom Hearts 3 currently. Now, if you guys don't know, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were developed by the Kingdom Hearts team within Square Enix. That team right now is currently developing Final Fantasy 15.
Which is going to be big.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And Tetsuya Nomura for the longest, along with Hajime Mr. Hajime was developing the game. Now, for some reason, recently, a couple of months ago, Tetsuya Nomura stepped down from Final Fantasy 15 and left Hajime in charge. And now a lot of people is believing that because Tetsuya Nomura stepped down, he's going to be focusing more on Kingdom Hearts 3, which he did say in an interview. He's like, I want to focus more on other projects, including Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah. Now, the Osaka team, they've had experience of developing handheld games, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, and, remaking / porting the old games onto 1.5 and 2.5. They already had all that stuff to build upon. And they've never done a full console Kingdom Hearts game, especially of this magnitude. We're talking about Kingdom Hearts 3. So I kind of understand why they have to, look for more people to work on the game. But, I mean, god damn, this game has been announced since 2013. We've had 2 trailers in 2013. We got close to nothing in 2014. And apparently, at the end of last year, they were saying that, we're going to be getting a lot more news this year. Expected to be at E3, expected to be at GDC.
Please be excited for E3. Please be excited for E3.
So, they said we're going to get a lot more information, and including more trailers or whatnot, because Kingdom Hearts recently had a launch event for Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix in Burbank, California, and a select number of people were able to go, and they showed off a new trailer or new gameplay mechanics of Kingdom Hearts 3 exclusively to them.
And has not released it.
And they have not released it yet. And then there's rumors going around that they are not going to release it to the public. Now, with all of this being said, they got work done. They said they got work done. For them to hire these people kind of rubs me the wrong way, because I'm like, okay, you have work done, that's cool, but look at some of the descriptions of these jobs. It scares me a little bit. Like, some of these don't scare me as much as the others, but it's really scary. Check out these descriptions, alright?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. Cutscene designer. Working on cutscenes for Kingdom Hearts 3, taking part in the entire manufacturing process related to cutscene production. That sounds alright. Now, this one actually has me excited. Technical artists. In charge of general technical assistance, workflow construction, selection of middleware, etc., etc. In implementing the high-quality graphic expressions of Kingdom Hearts 3. In charge of construction duties for a shader of the game engine for natural and nature representations, i.e. water, rain, snow, etc. And this last part, and special effects, magic, etc. during online games.
That's interesting.
Now I'm like,
very interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, hello, is the Mirage Arena from Birth by Sleep making a return? Are we gonna get online features for Kingdom Hearts 3? That has me very, very excited, but everything else doesn't have me excited. Like, battle planner, direction planner, level planner, they're all like have these jobs for creating the user interface, creating.
You know what this worries me though is that this worries me, and I feel very similar to you in this fashion, is that we're definitely not seeing this game anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very strong feeling, and we've talked about this before on the podcast before, Pete, that we don't expect Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out anytime soon. I don't even think we're getting it at the end of next year. I think we're in 2017, 2018.
I don't want no, don't scare me, man. I want to believe and say that's coming at the end of
Goofy over there
next year.
has been talking a little bit about.
Oh my goodness! Let me tell you about this story. I'm actually my Kingdom Hearts team, known as the Key Keepers. We're the ones who actually got that ball rolling. One of us named Sora Alam One Gaming. He actually started tweeting to Bill Farmer for some weird reason. And Bill Farmer decided to, answer him, and he's answering all these people. And apparently one person's like, oh, so when is Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out? It's like, oh, I voiced all the voice work for Goofy. It's coming out this year. And everyone's like, whoa, what? So I decided to tweet him, and I'm like, yo, aren't you under contract or something? Are you going to get in trouble?
NDA.
And then he's all like, no, I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm fine. And I'm like, so you're sure this game's coming out this year? He's like, yeah. So then everyone starts covering it. IGN, Kotaku, BuzzFeed, Polaris, everyone was covering the story. And then Square Enix came out and said there has been a goof. Kingdom Hearts 3 release date has yet to be announced formally, right? And then Bill Farmer went on Twitter saying, I did not say anything about Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm like, no, you did. Everyone's like, you did. They post up screenshots like, you did. This is you saying
Goofy
it.
made a goof.
Yeah.
It's okay. But I mean,
And then-
here, this brings me to my point. I mean, obviously everybody wants this game. Everybody's
Right.
waiting. I mean, granted, we're all excited for Final Fantasy 15 and stuff, but this is the game that's really getting people like riled up.
Now-
But I really don't think we're going to see this game anytime soon.
Now, the one thing that keeps pointing me in the direction that we may get this thing, we may get it soon. We may not even soon, but we may get it at 2016. Is a couple of factors. Now, since 2000 and I want to say 2008. I could be wrong. Since 2008. Let me search that up real quick. Give me 1 second. It's gonna take 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so like the Kingdom Hearts games, they've been releasing one game every year since 2007.
Yeah.
Since 2007, they've been releasing one game every year.
Yeah.
And then next year, everyone's like, oh, and this year, it was like Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm like, oh, no, I don't see it happening. This year, I think they're going to be releasing an HD remake of Dream Drop Distance.
That'll be interesting. With the touchscreen on Wii U, that'll be cool.
Right, I'm thinking it's going to be on Wii U or something even better, in my opinion, that I'll make a video on it pretty soon.
4?
Oh, no. You know how, okay, we got 1.5 remix to 3 games, right? And then 2.5 remix to 3 games. Imagine this.
Mm-hmm.
350 over 2 days. Recoded and Dream Drop Distance, all playable HD on the Wii U. Because they're all on DS games. They're all on DS games. They all have the second screen. Wii U has the second screen. Imagine that. They released that this year. And I'm like...
Pete, what do you think of that idea? That sounds intriguing.
So all of the Kingdom Hearts, basically, you're saying on Wii U?
No. 350, only the game, because in 1.5 and 2.5, Recoded and 350 over 2 days were just cutscenes. Because they couldn't really, they were DS games. They couldn't really translate that into actual playable games on the PS3.
I see.
Now, if you were to... if you were to bring that along with Dream Drop Distance onto Wii U as the game for 2015, that would work. And in 2016, finally, we get Kingdom Hearts 3.
Wow.
Because, I mean, what kind of game would come out in 2016?
That'd be awesome.
I could get behind that. I could definitely get behind that.
Yeah, me too, actually, because I played the most recent Kingdom Hearts game for the 3DS, and I liked it. I didn't finish it because I didn't really have a lot of time, but from when I played, I thought that video game was great. I would love to play that again.
HD graphics? Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's a no-brainer
that sounds
too,
dope.
because like you said, everybody is salivating for Kingdom Hearts 3. Right,
they're thirsty for it.
They are dying of thirst. They want to play this video game, and I feel just bringing this out, what Gio was saying, bringing that out just to kind of quench, just to kind of give them a little taste of what is going to happen eventually. I think that'd be great. It needs to happen.
But getting back to the main point about these positions and stuff, this only shows me that the release and the development of it is really early on still. Because obviously, according to some of the reports about that, Kingdom Hearts 2.5 release party trailer that they showed that was exclusive to them, it was very early on, early concept stuff. And I think that getting all these guys for these different positions that are open and such really shows me that there's still a lot of work to be done on this game. And that's for the better, to be honest with you. I want them to take their time. I want them to really put in a lot of...
They've been taking too much time.
They've been taking too much time, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, even if you have to really kind of, make me wait a little bit longer to really flesh out and really hone what this game is going to end up becoming, I'm all for it. And I'm cool. I'm cool with that. So, hopefully, the next, couple of years, if not Duke Nukem Forever territory, actually get this game.
No, we are getting into Duke Nukem territory, man.
We're getting close. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 came close to it. That was pretty close. Hopefully, by the end of this year into next year.
I think Final Fantasy 15 is already there.
You think so?
Yeah, dude, the game has been announced since 2006. What year is it?
Right.
It's been 9 years.
Just recently, though, they reported that they were about 50% done with the video.
55% done for the game. So
what does that tell you? Are we going to get it in another, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years from now?
Well, I don't think so. I think I'm pretty confident that, when they say that Final Fantasy 15 is going to release this year holiday season. A number of reasons why. Because the most hardest hurdles to get past in game development is creating the world, the battle system, and the character design and the voices. Now,
especially the new ones.
Right. They've done all of that. I think they've done all of that. They said the world in Final Fantasy 15 is complete already. I think the rest of development is just, polishing, debugging, what everything they can add in here and there, item implementation, treasure locations, all that stuff. I think it's really like menial stuff that they have left to do, and I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 15 will release at the end of this year.
I'm hoping if it's end of this year, I'm all for it. If I hear that, if I see that announcement at E3 when I go and it says, was it holiday season 2015? I'm in. I'm so in.
Man,
it's gonna be so good. But yeah.
I just want them to release a year for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Just give us a time frame just to speculate.
Just be like, okay, at the end of the trailer 2016, I'm like, yes!
I'm telling you right now, whenever year it comes out, it's going to be the holiday season. I'm telling you right now, because that's going to be the game that's going to make bank when that game comes out. So, with that being said, though, let's move on to some community blogs to kind of slow us down a little bit because we're getting all hot and bothered about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Let's talk about some JRPG stuff. We got some community blogs here. Talk about 5 great JRPG depths.
Right, and this is from
depths.
This is from X-Bro.
Like die.
They're extra crispy. They're iced.
Okay.
They're finished. They're kaput. So. From X-Bro, one of the moderators on my IGN, actually created this blog. Hey, he's talking about 5 great deaths that are in JRPGs, and he's got a couple of games listed on here, including Tales of Symphonia, Xenoblade Chronicles, Final Fantasy X, Mother 3,
I already know Xenoblade Chronicles and Tales of Symphonia.
Chrono Trigger. Now, Pete, what do you think of this, or what are some of your favorite deaths?
I mean, I don't really play a lot of JRPG video games. Like, the last RPG game I played, I know, right? was Final Fantasy VIII.
That's what I'm talking about.
I take that back. It was Eternal Sonata, one of the best video games I played.
I would have taken Final Fantasy VIII. That's okay.
No. Anyways, back to what I was saying. One of the greatest deaths of all time for me was spoiler alert, and if you haven't played it yet, shame on you, was Dom in Gears of War 3. The guy just totally takes one for the team and he explodes. He runs his vehicle into this gas tank that kills enemy horde.
Wait, Gears of War?
Yeah,
that's not a JRPG.
That's not a JRPG. That's not a JRPG.
I don't play a lot of JRPGs, so whatever.
But I'll take it. No, that was a good death. I will admit
it was because the guy just totally gave his life to save his comrades, and Dom was one of my favorite characters in the Gears of War franchise. We've seen characters like Carmine come and go, but to see a guy who's been in the video games from the beginning of time, the Gears franchise, since the beginning of that, just totally die, it was kind of a bummer, but it was
that's very true.
A great death,
Now let me bring it back to JRPGs for a minute. Let me tell you 3 deaths that everybody unanimously has pretty much agrees they're awesome, and sad some of them, and some of them awesome ways to go out. They all come from Final Fantasy because that's one of the bigger JRPGs of our
Here we go.
So obviously number 1, the simple one that everybody knows is Aerith from Final Fantasy VII.
And she didn't even bleed.
It doesn't matter. She went. You got to admit though, when she went down and you saw that, and you saw Sephiroth pull that sword out of this girl, you're like, "Yo, it is so on right now."
Yeah, but then I'm like, "Yo, wait a minute. She was a party member then." Whatever. And then at the same time, I'm like, "Man, I should have seen this coming. I played Final Fantasy 3 before."
but it was heart wrenching to some people. Now the real tearjerker, and Gio, hopefully you agree with me on this. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah,
Zach, that one hit home big time because the thing was, obviously, for a lot of the people out there that have played Final Fantasy VII extensively, you all knew this was coming, but you weren't prepared for it when it actually happened. When it happened, you got hurt. You had to put the PSP down for a minute. It was like, damn, man. I have to question some things. You have to go there, grab yourself a soda, really think about it for a minute, because it was that emotional. It was that big of a deal when it actually happened. It was key to the plot, obviously, but the delivery of it was so good. I felt it was some of the best that Square Enix had in a while. But then finally, one of my favorites, which wasn't really sad so much as it was expected, but such a stylish way to go out, and that's Auron from Final Fantasy X. I feel like the way that whole scene played out at the very ending of the game, the way that, some of his final messages to some of the characters and that, I thought that was really cool, and the background music just set the mood so well. It was such a good way to go out. But, Gio, what are some of your favorites?
When Dobby dies at the end of Harry Potter. Let me stop. Dang, JRPGs. there's been I played a lot of JRPGs, and there's been a lot of deaths. But I'm like, when it comes to JRPGs, I find like each death is just like every time I see it, I'm like, okay.
Kind of blasé.
And then it doesn't really affect me as much as like other game genres when like characters die. Like, you know, like one, it's not a JRPG, but one death scene that really hit at home. You ever played Super Mario Galaxy?
Yes.
When at the end of the game, when the Lumens all sacrifice themselves to cover the black hole,
yeah.
I'm like, no, they're just babies.
The Lumens.
Oh, and I'm like, geez, all of that collection gone. But
that's a damn shame.
Yeah, but when it comes to JRPGs, I mean, like I think I'm just gonna have to like backtrack to Kingdom Hearts because I'm like, of course, like no one really dies in that game, but like their death scenes, their equivalent of death scenes is pretty, it's pretty heart-wrenching. Like when Ericus died, when Xion died.
When Xion died, it was pretty sad.
Yeah, that was
she got erased from existence. That's like really bad.
Yeah, and then like you know, like someone you forgot is dying in your arms, and you remember at the very last second when they're already like comatose and like fading away. And then like also like you can consider it a death scene, but at the same time it's not really. But like that one scene that always brought a tear to my eye, in Kingdom Hearts was it's exclusive to Final Mix. It's when Roxas and Axel are having a conversation when Roxas finally like, you know, fuses back with Sora at the end of the game in the world that never was, when they're having a conversation, and then Roxas is like, it's time to go, and then he's like, take care, Axel, and then Axel's like, goodbye, buddy, and then like he's fading away, and then like, Axel like sheds a tear for the very first time. I'm like, ugh!
You know something? Playing off of that, you know what was a real good one? And it's still of Roxas too, but the very beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh yeah, when he's like, my summer vacation's over.
My summer vacation's over, and I was like, wow, man, that was a good
God, Kingdom Hearts has so many feel scenes, and that's why I love this game. Oh my goodness. Like, have you seen the recorded cutscenes?
Yes.
Like all of them?
Yes.
I remember that one scene where Roxas finally like gives up to Sora, and then he's like, "Where are you going? You going home?" He's like, "I don't even have a home, but I know a place I like to be." And then like he fuses back with Sora, and then Sora's like, "What do I feel?" It's like a comforting sunset and a promise of a beach, my first and my last. And then you hear Roxas say, "Summer vacation," and then Sora's like, "You can rest easy. I have you now." I'm like, ugh!
That's so much tearjerkers all over the place. That's emotion in games, man. I mean,
so those are my death scenes then.
Yeah,
granted,
some way.
The best death of all time was when Link's uncle died in A Link to the Past in the very beginning.
Oh, damn! That's another one.
Yeah, that was like in the straight beginning when I played that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this game is already looking bad. This game's already looking dark.
It's so on right now. Those are death scenes, or those are deaths like that are like really get you ready to like go kick some ass.
Yeah, but the thing is, it didn't matter because he got revived at the end of the game, and I'm like, ugh. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, he died, but didn't stay dead.
It was good while it lasted.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like when people stay dead, that's the thing.
Ooh. Yeah, that's cool.
And when they haunt you, ooh.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's jump into another blog that we can spotlight here. Let's talk about some handheld games here. Handheld gaming, you know, we all grew up in the age of the Game Boy. I'm pretty sure. We all love our handheld games.
When you had that link cable in elementary school, you were the cool kid in school. Holy shit! Oh
yeah, everybody wanted to hang with you. Yeah. But I mean, some of us that were even older remember Game Gear. Remember all that stuff that was going on, those handheld. Yeah, I know, right? Peter shudders at the game.
Man, I remember those. I remember I was in Mexico for a vacation one time. Those bootleg Dragon Ball Z games that only have like 3 light up shits. It was so bad. Oh my goodness.
You want to really talk about the bottom of the barrel. Now, anybody that's a fan of the Angry Video Game Nerd and such remembers the Tiger games.
Yeah.
Oh god.
The Power Ranger game that like was just terrible.
Or the Mega.
No. Those games were bad, but they're not. In my opinion, they're not as bad as those McDonald toy video games.
Oh my god.
Those like pocket shits, like that Tamagotchi knockoff crap.
Oh yeah, those things are horrible. But my man over here, K-Squall1, he's got a cool name. He's got Squall in his name. K-Squall1, he's talking about handheld gaming, talking about some of his favorite handheld games. Now, he mentioned stuff like Pokemon. He obviously talks about the DS or the PSP or the Nintendo 3DS and such. But let me ask you guys straightforward, okay? Peter, what is your favorite handheld gaming console of all time? Any model?
Game Boy. hands down.
Game Boy. Which kind of Game Boy?
The picture that K Squall has was basically my growing up years. He's got a picture of the original Game Boy, the
brick.
The thing that took like 4 AA batteries and like killed the juice hecka fast. But I remember just playing Pokemon. I'm a big Pokemon fan. Anybody who knows me knows I have a room completely filled with Pokemon stuff. That's how I roll.
True.
But yeah, the original Game Boy is my favorite Nintendo handheld system of all time. It will always be that way, and it's because of Pokemon Red.
That's true. That's very true. People grew up with Pokemon. I remember that brick. I remember Super Mario Land 2, man. 6 golden coins. Mm-hmm. So much good stuff. Gio, your favorite handheld gaming console of all time?
When it comes to my favorite handheld gaming console of all time, it has to go. Honestly, the Game Boy was great, but the Nintendo 3DS is my favorite. It gets everything done. It gets everything done.
Mm. You know what my favorite was of all time, and it's surprisingly, granted I was a Sega kid back in the day. It's not a Sega system. It was the Game Boy Advance. That was the first time, because I was a big fan, obviously, of Super Nintendo games, because I used to have a friend while I was a Genesis kid. He used to have a Super Nintendo. We used to go to each other's houses and just play the other person's systems and such, and I used to get a lot of my Super Nintendo experiences from him. So when I was finally able to play those Super Nintendo games or Super Nintendo quality games in the palm of my hand, I was like, yo, this is awesome. Playing Super Mario World on the portable is amazing. That was one of those moments that was very irreplaceable for me in my life when it comes to gaming and such. But let's move on to the main topic of today. I know we're running a very meaty podcast today, but I want to talk about something that has affected a lot of people, especially last year, and even arguably the year before that, because there was a big deal on the online world. Okay, let's talk about streaming. Let's talk about YouTube content. Let's talk about gaming content and gaming-created content over on YouTube, on different online social media and stuff like that. Streaming, making videos, Let's Plays, and such like that. Now, obviously, Gio, you're a partner. You've done a lot of the YouTubes. You've done a lot of different videos and such like that. So I brought you on here to get a little perspective on this. But before I get
I see how it is. I see how it is.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about YouTube stuff, man. But let me ask Pete, some of your opinions, some of your thoughts on, created content, when it comes to gaming and such. What do you think in your mind when you hear Let's Play, when you hear YouTube partner gaming content, what goes through your mind on that?
So I think what you really have to think about the big picture is that you have to kind of understand what is YouTube, right? YouTube is a platform where people can go and listen to music, they can watch videos, they can watch gaming videos, Let's Plays, recorded streams. I dig it. It's another way for me to basically jump online and watch someone play a video game that I may not have interest in, but just watching that video inspires me to either play the video game or go buy the video game, and then I can dig a little deeper and check out some wikis and learn the video game. Right, so I'm definitely a big fan of YouTube, and I'm a big fan of people who are putting themselves out there to stream content. Like Gio here, he's a guy who just probably decided to make YouTube videos and that kind of thing, and now he's got how many subscribers?
Over 30,000.
Yeah, so he's a guy who just did his thing and he got that. So I'm a big fan of people just putting themselves out there and streaming video games. Sometimes I feel it kind of kills it for some individuals, because someone who's doing videos on YouTube and stuff, someone might stumble upon that and totally ruin their experience before even playing the video game because they've seen content on YouTube. So there's definitely pros and cons to watching video gaming on YouTube, and personally I like it. I like it. I like watching people stream on Twitch and stuff like that, and how they put their content out there. So I like it, and I'm all for it, and I want people to do it more, and I want to experiment with it as well. So
very true. That's cool. Yeah, I love checking out different game content on YouTube. I love the different creative ideas that people come up with, and obviously the how-to type of videos. I was just watching, I even tweeted about one of your friends, Gio, that was it one of the guys who did an actual guide to how to create the ultimate Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 2.5. Which is Soralum. I think I pronounced it right. It's Soralum, right?
Soralum, yeah.
I thought that was the best guide on how to actually get the Ultimate Keyblade that I've ever seen.
Yeah, he definitely went ham with that, yeah.
So detailed, so, nuance for people that may not know about certain things, ran down everything. I thought it was so good. I love seeing stuff like that, as far as video games, not just with RPGs and such, but any type of game. FPSs, different types of platformers or different types of game glitches or such like rundowns and things or different facts. Like I love watching Did You Know Gaming on YouTube. Like to me, like that's always like very informative and it gives me some food for thought about like, my passions and stuff. But Gio, coming from the creator side of stuff like that, what does it really mean to you? Or like, what are some of the things that you usually think about, being a YouTube content creator or just a game content creator and a Let's Player and stuff like that?
Oh man, it's definitely a process because it definitely takes a lot of experimentation. Definitely takes a lot of perseverance because sometimes when you want to make certain videos, you make them and then they don't get enough buzz and stuff. And then certain videos that people are into, it's like okay, it's like either do I keep going with this type of video or do I try to do what suits me better. And I feel like as a content creator, you have to find like the good middle ground. If you want to get big and successful and stuff, you have to know what makes what people want, and you have to know what makes you happy. Because if you make a lot of videos that people want, and then you don't make yourself happy, you're not gonna see yourself get very far. You're gonna like at one point quit, or the quality is gonna go down. You're not gonna like what you're doing, blah 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 blah. And you just have to know what you are, what you like to do, and what people like at the same time. So it definitely takes a lot of experimentation and stuff like that. And as a content creator, especially with 30K, it makes me very proud that I'm able to do this, so much, because a lot of people they think that doing YouTube and getting this many subscribers, they think it's really easy. It's not.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
To that.
A lot of people. There's like a huge chunk in the world that think it's really easy. That it's so easy. Like if I start a YouTube, or if I did a YouTube, I can do better than you. And then the fact of the matter is, you're not. It's not that easy. People who get like 1 million subscribers overnight, those are people who just get lucky. Like there's people who get lucky all over the place. But to actually work on doing this, it takes a lot. You have to know what you want to do. You have to name the title right. You have to make a thumbnail. You have to get the tags right. You have to get the right capture material. You have to get the right capture devices. You have to get a good sound.
A lot goes into it.
Yeah, a lot really does go into it. And then people are like, oh yeah, I could do better. And I'm like, okay, sure. Then why don't you? Oh, yeah. Blah blah blah.
But let me ask you this though, and same question to you, P. There's a lot of hoopla in regards to the actual reaction that a lot of game developers and game publishers specifically have to things like Let's Plays, to things like different game content created on YouTube using footage and stuff like that. It was a big thing, obviously, last year, and a couple years before that, things like with SOPA and PIPA, some of those bills that were trying to regulate content that everybody freaked out about. There was also the way that some publishers have been handling it, like claiming a lot of videos because of like some of the footage or the music and stuff. I know Nintendo recently has come under fire with that because they're very, very heavy on controlling the way that their product is delivered and actually controlled on the interwebs and just different outlets and such. So they were at like the center of a lot of things going on. And even Sega, at some point, there was a lot of older games that were being streamed or made videos about that people were getting like copyright strikes and stuff against them, against their channels, or even getting their channels shut down in some rare instances. But what do you think about what some of the reactions from different publishers, or how it should be? So certain reactions should be from publishers. Should they be embracing it? Should they be conflicting with it? How should they be reacting?
I think like they should definitely embrace it because it's just free PR, right? Like some guy is just playing Call of Duty Ghost or whatever, Advanced Warfare, and he's having a blast and he's probably screaming into his microphone, but it just kind of like shows other individuals like what the game's about. It can show other individuals what kind of fun they could possibly be having or not. And I feel like maybe these companies don't like it because maybe some people are ranting about their video games. So of course that's bad PR. That's what they don't want. So I can see them freaking out and overreacting over those instances, but I mean I think it's fair game, right? If someone gets their hands on a video game, they should be allowed to stream it. If regardless if they bought it or not, they have it. There's very little I feel like a developer can do anything about those kind of things. So it's whatever. It's fair game. you know.
Yeah. True. I think that's a valid point. I think that, someone streaming or making videos about a particular type of game shows their enthusiasm of the game, whether they're saying good or bad things about it. And it's obviously getting awareness out about a particular title or a particular type of company or whatnot. But Gio, have you ever been on the receiving end of wrath or praise from different publishers, in regards to some of the games that you actually talk about in some of your videos?
Oh, yeah.
I know recently you did, not too long ago.
Yeah. Nintendo and I go back and forth quite a bit sometimes when I try to talk about their games or when I'm talking about certain games. They usually try to claim a lot of my videos, but then I usually just fire back and put a dispute. And most of the time, I just flat out win. Nintendo is very, very picky on who shows off their games and stuff, especially because I'm very, very open-minded, but I'm very, very vocal about certain games. If I don't think a game is going to be that great, I talk about it, and then Nintendo tries to hit me with a claim, trying to shut me up or something like that. And it's happened to me a couple of times before, and not a while ago, Square Enix. I'm
surprised. I know I've heard in the past, different publishers like Square. Now that you mentioned them, have taken issue whether they're claiming ad revenue on some of the videos, or in some rare cases, I know that you find this a lot with some publishers on Steam that actually have certain games that, for example, just to throw a name out there, Jim Sterling will talk about a certain Steam game. He'll say something bad about it,
right.
And the publisher will get upset and try to use a copyright strike to silence him.
Right.
There's been instances like that.
Right. Square hit me with one copyright strike, but it was only because I was using Final Fantasy 15 footage, and I don't really do Final Fantasy 15 videos on my channel as much. I want to do more, but it definitely discourages you when you get strikes about certain games and stuff. And me and Nintendo was back and forth for the longest, but I think they've quieted it down quite a bit, because I keep on telling, in my a lot of my videos, I keep on saying that Nintendo really needs to get their shit together when it comes to the releasing of games, but I really don't have much to complain about, because very recently they've been doubling down with their games releasing, especially for Wii U and 3DS, and 2015 looks really, really good. So I mean, yeah. Yeah, but for the longest they were all up on my Zelda videos, but they haven't been bothering me for a while now.
It could be annoying, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, man.
Because again, like you said, it's discouraging, and you want to show your enthusiasm for it, or you want to tell people about good things about this. Perfect example that happened recently with Capcom, Street Fighter V, when the trailer dropped. And the footage came out, and all these different outlets were talking about it, and posting videos about the different footage, analyzing, and just talking about the game. Capcom went on a rampage, taking those videos down. Even people that just maybe had a little bit of the footage and a small thumbnail while they were talking over it. I know Angry Joe was one of the big advocates about that happened not so long ago. In case you guys don't know, Angry Joe, another person on YouTube on the interwebs that does different videos about gaming and such, and talks about it on his Angry Joe show. And he was very vocal about that, which rightfully so, especially if you're trying to say good things about a game. I think it only makes it that much more worse for some people. It gets pretty bad. Yeah,
it does get bad. But some of these strikes, some of these claims, I feel like they are
a little bit overplayed.
Not over. Yeah, a lot of them are overplayed, but some of them are valid, because I got hit with a nasty copyright strike, and then when in lying side, I kind of deserve it, because remember when the 3DS game of Super Smash Bros. 3DS, that game got leaked, and all the roster came out, and then they had gameplay videos of Bowser Jr. and Shulk. I used that for one of my videos. Oh my goodness! And Nintendo came down and brought the full wrath on me.
And something though? Yeah. That's the thing though, which I find a little bit annoying, because technically it's not someone like yours' fault. Yeah. That actually finds that footage and wants to talk about it and wants to put it out there to show people and such like that. Right. I think that a lot of different publishers and I'd say game devs, but I really mean publishers, really have to use judgment, and PR really has to use judgment on some of the different places where they're actually doing stuff like that and trying to control the information on people that are creating content and actually putting stuff out there about their games, because especially if they want to get good buzz about it, because the more that I feel that they try to control, the more worse it makes them look.
Yeah.
And it really gives the bad impression. Peter, I think we've talked about this a couple times on the podcast before with different publishers that try to do that, especially when trailers get leaked or certain things about a game get leaked out in a certain area of the world and different publishers just go crazy trying to just shut people down about it.
I feel like once it happens, it happens, and they should just embrace it, announce it, and just kind of own up to it, because it's not. I mean, it's gonna sound kind of cynical, but it's their fault that it got leaked. They
let it happen,
right? And everybody who's been on the internet knows once something's on the internet, it's really hard to take off, because it's just gonna multiply by like 1 million in seconds.
Seconds,
I feel Nintendo just needs to kind of own up to.
Ease up.
I mean, like I said,
all publishers.
There's
all publishers need to do that.
Right. All publishers definitely need to just ease up on it and just embrace it and treat it as positive or negative PR. If someone hates a video game and they're ranting about it on the internet, instead of just copywriting it and saying, "Oh, that's bad PR," why not reach out to the individual, break it down, have a conversation? Hey, treat it as like a beta, right? If someone like the Halo 5 beta, 343 probably reached out to some people who played it, maybe to some of the pros. Hey, what did you like about this video game? What did you not like about the video game? Turn it into a positive and then make it better. Just kind of get
all press is great press.
Yeah,
good or bad, all press is great press.
Because it's just going to help them in the long run. And I feel like, and I agree with you guys when you say it just kind of makes them look bad if they're just like, "No, take it down. We don't want to show them."
Right.
Because it's already out there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully down the line, different publishers learn how to actually use content creators, streamers, gaming YouTube personalities and such to their advantage, rather than be more combative with them like that. But Peter, it's about that time.
It's about that time, buddy.
It's about time for the IGN Community Spotlight. So tell me, who is this week's Community Spotlight?
Sure. This week's Community Spotlight is Toxic_Snowman.
Wow, that is a name.
Yeah, so basically he recently wrote a post basically saying, "Let them post memes, a meme and gift sharing blog." And you guys could definitely check him out on his My IGN page, and he also has PSN, which they're basically all the same names, which is Toxic_Snowman. And you can hit him up, show him a little love, and it's a couple of memes in here. I like this little kitty cat with a baseball cap on, makes it look like it's a turtle shell. I thought that was pretty rad. So it's pretty fun little blog, and you guys should definitely check him out.
That's pretty awesome. Now, a couple of little neat thoughts and neat facts about Toxic Snowman here. Gio, I'm pretty sure you might like this, but Toxic Snowman, his favorite games are Paper Mario and The 1,000-Year Door,
nice.
and Pokemon Sapphire.
There we go.
So he likes that Paper Mario.
I love Paper Mario.
But I got beef, though. Okay, I got beef. Because he comes out, he says that he's not looking forward to Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Ooh.
I got some beef with that now. I will say I cannot comment on it much. I will say I'm actually doing the review for Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate for an outlet that I'm freelancing for. I could say I'm playing the game, but I can't talk much about it. But
right.
Apparently he doesn't like Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Apparently over here.
What's not to like about it?
I
gotta know. Like, that game has so much in it, right? It's freaking open world.
I plead the fifth.
You can customize your characters, and I totally respect his opinion, because everybody's allowed to have an opinion. But in my opinion, I think that game's freaking amazing. I'm gonna sink in a grip of time in that video game.
I don't know, Gio, do you play Monster Hunter?
Not really, man. Cause some of my friends are really big on Monster Hunter, but when I play that game, I'm like, it's one of those games that unless you play with friends, it's good. If you play by yourself, it's whack as shit. And my schedule is super erratic, so I don't really have that much time to play Monster Hunter. When I did have, I had Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the Wii U, and then, when I was playing it, it was just,
You need to play that game with your friends.
Yeah, and then when I was playing with my friends, it was all right. But I'm like, that's why I'm not really looking forward to Monster Hunter 4. Yeah, it's not like I'm not gonna say it looks bad or anything, because I can't really say, because it's not my cup of tea, so I can't really say that's bad. But I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, because Monster Hunter is a video game that you should enjoy with other people, right? Because I played 30 hours of Ultimate for 3DS. and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for 3DS. And I just played it solo, and then I met a buddy, and we started playing it, and then I dipped in another 40 hours into it. So I mean,
wow, that's 70 hours of game right
it's
there.
Not enough, to be honest with you, but there's just so much that you can do with other people, and it makes the boss battles a lot easier, because man, if you're trying to take down like this one humongous beast by yourself, it's just not going to happen. And if it happens, it's going to take forever, and anybody who's done this can attest to it, basically. You need to have more people when you play that video game. And I really want this game to come out on Wii U. Like, I've seen pictures online about Monster Hunter 4 possibly coming on Wii U. I doubt it's ever going to happen. It needs to.
Interesting.
It might.
Well, but he still likes that Paper Mario, though. Paper Mario's pretty
I
cool.
love Paper Mario.
Paper Mario. I like the Paper Mario Sticker Star on 3DS. That was a cool little
Really? Because a lot of people didn't like that one.
I thought it was a neat little game. It's not as good as Paper Mario on the Wii. Don't get me wrong. Like, let me just put that straight out there like that. But it was a neat little game to have, and I think it was a neat little addition to the 3DS collection.
It was definitely a cool game, but I mean, you definitely can feel that it was like the handheld Paper Mario.
Yeah, it was Paper Mario Light.
Yeah,
that's what it was. But there you go, Toxic Snowman. You're this week's community spotlight here on the All-Star Podcast. That's pretty cool. Congratulations. But gentlemen, let's talk about some listener feedback, some listener questions. We're always all about the listeners. We're all about the community over here. Am I right, Peter?
Yeah, absolutely. And really quick, before we start, I do want to say, in case you guys want to be the IGN Community Spotlight, all you have to do is head over to IGN and just submit blogs and be a very active community member. And someone may nominate you. You may nominate yourself. But whatever you do, just go to submissions@IGN.com and enter yourself in there. That way you can be on the main page of IGN, just like Toxic Snowman here.
That'd be cool. We'll be talking about your blogs, too. It'd be awesome. So, let's get into this listener feedback. We got some feedback over here. Some serious feedback, gentlemen. Serious, like we might have to execute somebody. So let's get down to business. We got this one here on our last episode from MK1982, one of the mods on my IGN. He goes, I think having Ryan on once a month is cool. I like the idea of having other All-Star community members make up 3 weeks of the month as it delivers on the All-Star Community Podcast title. That isn't to say you can't achieve that in a different way, of course. As someone mentioned last week, introducing new guests slowly while the audience builds up familiarity with yourself, Peter, and Ryan is probably the best course of action. And that's from MK1982. So, obviously, Gio, you may not have a little much input on this one, but we're all about bringing on guests. You're our guest here. You're our special guest. You're our boy.
That's right.
You're coming on here having fun with us. We're giving a little bit of flavor to the podcast. But Pete, what do you say? What do you say to these thoughts?
I would love to have guests from the IGN community on the podcast. Some of the IGN All-Stars. What up? Big shout out to the IGN All-Stars out there. But yeah, I mean, I would love to have everybody on. It's just kind of hard to maybe pre-screen people because might have to be pre-recorded just because I wouldn't want to have a deep conversation, an engaging conversation, and then all of a sudden be blindsided by
something crazy.
And like I said, I respect everyone's views, and we all respect everyone's views because we all have our own opinions and our own views. But there's just some things that I feel should be kept to themselves that I don't personally want to.
We have ourselves to a higher caliber, a certain standard.
Sure. So it's not that we don't want people on. It's just going to be. It's been a little difficult, just kind of screening individuals and just kind of soaking in the atmosphere and kind of learning people. So no worries, guys. We're barely on episode 10. We definitely want to have a bunch of people on the show. Maybe we'll even do a Google Hangout. It'd be pretty awesome. So
interesting.
The possibilities are literally endless, guys. So we definitely want you guys on here.
But yeah, I mean, we're always looking to improve the podcast. I know we even talked about this last episode when we were recording with Ryan. We're always looking to improve the podcast, do something different. We're trying to make things, fun for you guys. Throw you guys a curveball here and there. I mean, one week it'll just be me and Pete talking. It'll be me, Pete, and Ryan. Then it'll just be me and Pete again. And then we'll throw you a curveball. It'll be me, Pete, and Gio over here, just, right up in your face. Blah! It's just like so unexpected for you guys. We want you guys to be interested, engaged, and just have fun listening to the podcast. So we're always trying to do some cool stuff. But we also got some other stuff here, gentlemen. Some thoughts from Twitter. We actually got some Twitter thoughts. Twitter input here for the podcast. This one comes from our good friend Ali Asahi.
Ali, what's
up,
Ali?
he writes it to the podcast a lot. He actually says some cool stuff and actually makes some suggestions and stuff. To mix things up next episode, let each person bring a topic they want to talk about. All good to hear your opinions about game trailers. And that's from Ali Asahi on Twitter. It's at Ali Sahi. Yeah, thanks, Ali. So we kind of do that for the most part.
Yeah, basically, when we first start the episode, we bring all the things that we want to talk about into the What's Hot on IGN segment. So
we even did it today. Mm-hmm. We did it today, actually. I brought some stuff there. I was doing the kind of blueprint for what we were talking about. Gio, when he came out, he brought some stuff about the Pokken trailer. Mm-hmm. Which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Talking about also, obviously, the Kingdom Hearts stuff. And then you obviously brought some of the stuff for Xbox One and the Elder Scrolls Online stuff. So every episode, guys, to kind of peer behind the curtain, we're always coming together, every single week, different things that we saw that were interesting, that we want to talk about, that we want to discuss. The blogs, we obviously gather the blogs before each episode that we want to kind of highlight. So we do a lot of work that goes behind the scenes. So very similar to some of the ideas that you guys are bringing to us. But keep bringing us your thoughts, your feedback, your questions, and such. You can always write to us at allstarpod at hotmail.com, as well as also send it to us over on Twitter, kind of like Ali did, at allstarpod on Twitter. That's at allstarpod on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I almost stuttered there for a second. But you could also tweet at us over on Twitter as well. I'm at VenomousFatman1P.
Yeah, I'm at Pete_Lopez with a 0.
Of course. And then you could also hit up Gio here, HMK, at, what is it? It's at HMKilla on Twitter, right?
On correct? Twitter, yes.
On Twitter, but where can they reach you also on YouTube?
You can reach me on YouTube at youtube.com/HMK9, the number 9, CAPN. I know it's a lot to go on.
HMK9 Cap'n.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And also, you don't just have one YouTube channel as well. You also got a couple others. You got your vlog channel, which is pretty cool.
I've got my Let's Play channel and my vlog channel, which is HMK Plays and Hectic Days by HMK. That's my vlog channel, but you can find those down on my main channel.
And then finally, you also have the Keykeeper stuff, obviously, right? Correct.
That's right. I'm one of 5 Kingdom Hearts YouTubers that come together and do awesome Kingdom Hearts stuff. There's 5 of us. There's me, myself, HMK. There's Skyward Wing, Sora Alam 1, the Gamers Joint, and Volt Edits. And we're actually having another Keykeepers meetup on the 30th of this month, which is happening at 8 p.m. at the Twitch account, Key_Keepers, which is X-Keepers. Key as in Kingdom Hearts Key, but it's like X-Keepers or whatever.
It sounds cooler with X, I'm not going to lie.
Right.
The X-Keeper.
A lot of people's like X-Keepers. I'm like, but X means key in Kingdom Hearts, and we're doing key. Oh, whatever.
It could also be Cross-Keepers. That could also be...
I don't like that. I always hated that. I always hated that so much. Like, when they pronounce it cross, like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, like it's Street Fighter X Tekken. Or Tekken, or Capcom X Namco X Tekken.
Or versus. I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, like they have to put versus there. But like, I hate it when they like Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I'm like, Street Fighter X Tekken, whatever. Yeah,
but that's pretty dope, man. That's pretty interesting. And normally you do different types of streams once in a while. Of obviously Smash Brothers, Kingdom Hearts. You do different types of streams for your channel, correct?
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Now, any kind of like inside stuff that you could tell some of the listeners that what you might have planned very soon for your channel?
Well, I might have that a breakdown for the Kingdom Hearts DS compilation for Wii U if they decide to make it, a little breakdown video. And I'm also doing a couple of Kingdom Hearts theories and top 10. I'm also having a big project coming up with another YouTuber named Skyward Wing from the Keykeepers. A video series, Sora versus Link, to see who would come out on top. A lot of people's like, it sounds like a lot like Death Battle, but we're trying to do something different than that. So it's something to look forward to at the end of this month. Hopefully, because Sky right now he's at PAX South. So we're gonna have to wait for him to come back.
PAX South is going on right, and you're going to PAX East.
Oh yeah, all of us, the Keykeepers, are going to PAX East. So that's gonna be a great time. Oh, I cannot wait. March dang. Yes.
You're hosting a panel. Tell us a little bit about the panel, if you could.
I can't. It's not my place to say.
But it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
That's going to be sweet, man. Everybody should be looking forward to that. It's awesome. Well, thanks a ton for coming on the podcast.
No problem, man. Anytime, bro.
And talking games.
And don't forget, guys, before we go, I actually wanted to give a free video game away on the podcast.
Freebies!
So, it's a free code for Nidhogg, and I believe it's on Steam, PC.
Yo, I love Nidhogg. Oh, my God. Have you ever played Nidhogg, JJ?
Yes, I have.
It's
I played it with a friend of mine.
so fucking addicting.
Dude,
oh my
we're gonna play
god!
Nidhogg this weekend. That's gonna be awesome.
Yo, dude, we spend hours playing that shit.
In case you guys want to play Nidhogg with these two individuals, you can definitely do that and just check out this code. It's XJK9P-7YEEL-64PEX, and I'm not going to repeat myself. So definitely go and rewind the podcast if you have to. Download your free code of Nidhogg, and let us know on Twitter. Hit us up at All-Star Pod on Twitter, or you can tweet us individually and let us know that you got the video game. Why not take a picture? And in case you guys want to check out all of our work, you can definitely do that. I'm at purenintendo.com, and you can definitely check out JJ, who also writes for the Coalition. So definitely come and check us out and show us your love there as well. We love to write, and we love serving the IGN community.
True. And Gio, aren't you also do some stuff on Real Taco Gamer every once in a while?
Yeah, every once in a while, but I've
You're doing more of the YouTube thing.
Yeah, I've put more focus on YouTube.
That's good, man. That's awesome. But again, thanks for coming on board. You're welcome anytime. Always a pleasure chatting up games with you, man. It's gonna be a blast every time, and hope you guys get to check out all our stuff, get to check out Gio's stuff, and I hope you guys come back to listen to the next episode of the IGN All-Star Community Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we will talk to you guys again very soon. Peace out, and stay epic, everybody.
Peace.